Says, all right, I don't know what's happening with the music tonight, but
No
it
intro
is
music.
what no intro music
No
tonight. I
intro
don't know.
music.
I
Eh?
don't know what's going on, but welcome to the latest episode of Kicks, Cleats, and Athletes. It's your board ops JD. We got our man Kicks of the week and all kicks. I mean, I don't know. EJ not
We're,
here to do
we
it.
don't have the we don't
We,
have the
we don't have an
intro man.
intro, so just kind of didn't flow right. But we got our boy Jimmy T, so it's all good. And our third wheel, the one we got to babysit, the wrestler, the plumber, young middle plumber EJ. He'll be joining us in a few. So what's good, my guy?
maybe we'll see how it goes.
Well,
This
I mean he's
I mean
watching the Heat game, so
yeah,
he's gonna
they're
hop
up
on all hype
they're
if
up
they win.
6 with a minute left, so hopefully he'll jump on here pretty soon. He won't do anything with the heater on television.
True,
It's
true,
gonna be
true,
the
true.
downfall of his marriage one day.
But it is what it is, though. So how's your week been, man? I mean, I
Man, it's
know it's only
going.
Tuesday, but
Yeah, that's why it's only going. We still got a ways. Still got a
yeah, we do.
ways.
Oh, just so I mean, I know you asked me last time. There's no school Friday, so if they hit you with the there's no school, there is no school on Friday.
There's no school on this Friday?
Nah, so the kids are off. So all your kids are gonna be home
What?
because
What
we
what
didn't
happened?
so you normally get Good Friday off, but because Good Friday fell on spring break, where they're still get it because it's I guess
I complained about that for them. I was like, they're losing a day here. I don't like it.
yeah.
I don't like it.
So we got the day back, but it's you still get the
Was that
day.
scheduled from the jump, or that
Yeah.
just something they threw in there?
Nah, it was scheduled from the jump. I never even noticed it on the schedule. It wasn't until somebody told me, and I was
Oh,
like, and I'm
I
sitting
didn't
here,
notice it either. So you just told me right
I'm
now.
googling like, what is April 12th? What is April 12th? I'm like, I don't even
Some
know.
kind of new holiday.
That's what I was thinking, and then it just kind of hit me. I was like, wait a minute, we didn't have Good Friday off because it landed on spring break, so that was the
Hmm.
makeup for it. So
Hmm.
you know, it's
Okay.
all good, nevertheless, though.
Okay.
Yeah. So just so you know, in case they hit you with the trying to stay up late and
That's your
like
school
we don't.
update from Florida
Yeah, for real. But we
for
got a
the
great
listeners.
for the listeners. So any of y'all that got kids in Florida, well, no, 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 no. That's a Pasco thing.
Well, I just wasn't trying to
Everybody
tell
else
people
is
where
in
we were
school,
living.
huh?
I was just trying to not tell people where we were living.
Hey, we've said it before. We in like the Tampa
Have we?
area,
Yeah.
Yeah, we done said it because we had a whole argument with EJ about that one time, like a
Oh,
few episodes back, when the whole him getting into talking about he a diehard Heat fan or whatever it is he was
yeah.
saying,
Did
and
we say where we were living?
yeah, because the whole conversation was like, he was like, well, I live in New York, and I was like, dude, we don't live here anymore. Well, I don't live, in Miami anymore, so it's like I can't just up and go to a game like I used to.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I mean, he was yelling so much. I think I just glazed over. Wasn't
I
paying
would.
attention anymore.
I wouldn't be surprised if you did. Wouldn't be surprised if you did at all. But we got a great show in store for you guys tonight. We're gonna talk some NCAA women and men. Um, Obviously, we are coming down to NBA playoff time, so we'll highlight a couple little things in those regards. And a interesting topic: All Star versus starter. So essentially, what in your opinion makes an All Star versus a superstar? So we'll definitely get into all that good stuff and kind of see what's how it pans out. So, while we wait for the plumber to finish his I think he's got wrestling practice as well.
Is that what's
Uh
happening?
yeah, I
He's not
think
really
he's
watching.
he's working on some new moves or something. So, we just as he finishes that up, nevertheless, we're gonna hop in some NCAA. We'll talk the women's tournament first. Congrats to South Carolina, went undefeated. What they go, what, 39-0
I think
or
it was 38 and
38
0. Yeah,
38-0?
38. Yeah.
Yeah, so they had a
Lost one game in 2 years, and it was two in the final four.
Yeah,
to
they
Iowa.
lost to.
To Iowa.
So it was
It's a run,
great.
man.
I mean, they put up some big numbers as far as viewership goes. The LSU Iowa game for the Elite Eight was the most viewed game for a women's basketball
Rematch.
NCAA basketball game. Yeah, that rematch from the finals from last year. Hey, Plumber boy, what's
Oh, I
good?
just had to make sure we got that win tonight. It was tough, but I had to make sure we took care of the pigeons tonight. You know what I
Took
mean?
care of the
Yeah,
pigeons.
man.
It
Okay.
took you long enough.
Hey, man.
All right, the pigeons. Okay, so the Heat beat the Hawks tonight.
Yes, sir. Double overtime. Double overtime. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just.
Nah, you
You're
good.
very
You
much
good.
interrupting us.
You are. You are.
And we're just told
Um.
you, we told the audience that this is going to be the downfall of your marriage one day, that you refuse to do anything if the Heat are on.
Yeah, I mean that's just written into the clause, like
Written into the
especially coming
clause.
into playoff time, we're rounding into shape. I got to see how our mental is. Like this is a test that we needed.
A trayless Hawk game, double
Hey, we had no
overtime.
Terry Rozier.
Patty
That's
Mills
not
didn't
even a
play as well.
comparison. So let's not even do that.
They're starting point guards. That's all I'm saying. They both start for us at our starting point guard position. That's all.
That's not a comparison. Let's not do
Okay.
that.
No.
Well, hey. Okay. Anywho, we were talking about the women's NCAA game as you rudely interrupted us.
My apologies.
Just exactly.
Yeah, real point guard, not Terry Rozier. We're talking about Caitlin Clark.
But yeah, so the LSU Iowa game was actually the most viewed women's college basketball game ever, and then it got beat by the finals with South Carolina Iowa, which actually had 4 million more viewers than the men's championship game. So put that out there for you guys. But let's talk about the women. So like I said, South Carolina made a great run. I believe they are the 7th undefeated team in women's college basketball. So what was
To win it all?
to win it all? Yeah,
To win it all.
undefeated.
Okay.
So what's been more impressive? The stardom of Caitlin, the let's see, the undefeated season by South Carolina, the mantra of these bad girl mantra that the LSU women got for some reason. Paige Buchers having a great comeback year after 2 ACL injuries. So, Juju Watson, the star freshman from USC. So, who kind of, what was a takeaway from this NCAA tournament, women's tournament for you?
It was definitely Caitlin Clark. Like she was the face of, they were trying to say, she was the GOAT and bypass, people like Breanna Stewart, who won 4 most outstanding player awards and championships. So she was lightning in a bottle that brought viewerships to a sport that people thought was an afterthought. And she did it in such a way, it was such an unconventional way, because she was just this sharp shooting white girl. We had, it was like Larry Bird, like when he came to the league, it was just such new interest because you didn't see someone packaged in the way that was as cold-blooded as she was. Like you saw great white women players, but no one that was pulling up from 40 regularly, and just step back, just the whole package of offensive array. It reminded you of a Steph Curry, and it gave you that Davidson kind of feel of this undermanned squad, where this one person is just uplifting the team. She's David versus all these Goliaths. And the thing she had going for us, because we saw her beat Goliath before. She beat South Carolina last year. She came and beat LSU this year. So it's not like she hadn't been able to hold her own against these premier players. But once you got the people riled up and frenzied about the game, you know, they're gonna appreciate it a little bit more now. Cause now you're like, dang, like that's the team that beat Caitlin Clark. Okay, we got to see what they're about.
Okay, what you thinking, Jimmy T?
It's Caitlin Clark because until there's another player who can carry the viewership that she created, it's impressive. And listen, like these teams that have gone undefeated and won national titles, those teams were stacked. It was I heard somebody say, I don't know who it was, but I heard somebody say the other day that made me like shake my head like Caitlin Clark, it might be the first like college women basketball like face of the sport ever. It was always the name across the chest, right? It was UConn, it was Tennessee, it's South Carolina. It was never one player that brought the attention that she brought. I can guarantee you, like the reason that most people were in watching the game is because Caitlin Clark was playing. Right?
Some
And
people
I just
say
don't
like
understand. So I just don't understand. And there's great players that should get more attention, but just the way that she played, she brought. You guys heard me say this on the show a million times. That's why I think Steph Curry is one of the greatest players ever played because he absolutely revolutionized the game of the NBA. Everybody, the entire NBA is playing like how he plays now. She almost did that for the women's game in an aspect of like it was a couple years behind, but she brought it to like, all right, it's fun to watch. She's pulling up from three, she's handling the ball, she's throwing full court passes, and it was fun to watch. Not that it wasn't prior to that, but it just didn't. There wasn't a name on the back of the jersey that was pulling those viewership in, and that's impressive. You know, I don't know if you want to put her on like the greatest of all time yet. I don't know if you want to wait to see what she does in the pro game, things like that. But just the way that she's brought in the audience is probably the most impressive to me.
Now, let me ask you this: do you think the audience was more so looking to see her lose, looking to see her
I think it's
succeed? I mean,
when you're as good as she is, I think it's both. And I just
okay.
I don't understand it from the aspect of why. Why are we hating on such a great player?
So I
Like, are we
think
wanting her to
from
lose because she's so great and she's getting a bunch of recognition? But that, I mean, she can't handle. She didn't ask for everybody to tune in. She was just going out there and playing ball.
so I think what ended up happening, especially last year, um, with the whole, it kind of started when they played LSU and the whole back and forth with her and Angel Reese. Some kind of way, the media spinned it for it was like a black versus white type of thing, and because then it became, LSU were, I can't remember what the reporter called them, something debutantes. I can't remember the full phrase, but it was a negative connotation behind it. Pretty much like back in the day when, when the Hurricanes played the Fighting Irish, and it was the criminals versus the convicts versus the whatever it was. I can't remember.
Catholics.
Yeah. Um, and it was kind of similar
That
along
didn't
those
age well.
lines. Huh?
I said that didn't age well, but that's
No,
another
but
story for
that
another day.
so it kind of started to turn like that, and I think you started getting more people tuning in to see if she would fall, essentially lose, more so than watching her and watching her do her thing. I mean, she is a phenomenal player, and I hate that it came down to more of that than her actual play. Because Angel Reese is great as well. Paige Buchers is great as well. And it's like, why did we focus on the outside noise? Because I mean, Caitlin Clark broke a bunch of records. Like, I mean, she is like, I mean, if you want to have some sort of comparison as far as like record breaking, I mean, LeBron is holding a lot of these NBA records. I mean, she holds, I think, pretty much every NCAA record: points, 3-pointers. I don't know if she got assists or anything like that, but I feel like you got to give credit where credit's due. But to me, the standout to me was, it's hard to go undefeated. And South Carolina being able to start to finish, go undefeated and win it all. I think that's very impressive. As much as Caitlin Clark did, you saw it at the end. It's her versus a team. She didn't really have a team around her per se. It was her. If she was scoring half of their points, like if Iowa had 70 points, she probably had close to 35. So it was like she had to do everything, and couple that with probably 15 assists.
But that's what made her so great. That's the draw. That's the attraction, that she does put the team on her back and she carries them. And she had been,
But exactly. But when you come across a team that you got 5 players that could play, it's hard when they could easily switch on you and you're requiring to do so much more. You wear out, and it's hard to continue to carry that team.
I just think, Dawn Staley's she's a heck of a coach, and she was just like, I'm not gonna let Caitlin Clark do what she did to me the year before. She was like, it's just the tone's gonna be set differently.
It definitely was a revenge.
You also got to think about how the games lined up too, right? Iowa caught South Carolina off a week off, right? And that first game of the Final Four, you play 2 days later. Then you go against a South Carolina team that goes 10 deep. It's a little bit difficult, right? Like, I'm not trying to make an excuse for why Caitlin didn't play well in the second half, but because they put the clamps on her, not clamps, but they wore her down a little bit. She started taking, you can see some of her shots coming a little short. So she was a little bit fatigued. She's probably a little bit frustrated with her teammates not making gimmies when she was serving them up as well. But she might have been able to overcome that a little bit more. And maybe that's how the outcome came out last year in the Final Four, where she could have carried a little bit more of the load in the second half. Because she came out, scored 18 in the first quarter. She was, the adrenaline carried her into that, you know what I mean? But, 2 days later, deep South Carolina team, I think that probably has a little bit to play with it. And of course, obviously they're trying to get their get back. Right.
It's interesting. You hear what the women of the NBA, the WNBA, like the legends are saying about her.
And, this is what really pisses me off about it, is like, why? I don't understand. Like, she's helping the game move forward. Why?
It's just, they got egos too. They're these players, they came up in college basketball. So to them, like a Diana Taurasi, a Breanna Stewart, they was like, I was her, in college, and I never got this kind of fanfare, and I won national championships.
Agreed. That's not their fault. It's also not Caitlin Clark's fault. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it's, we're also you go from Diana Taurasi, right? Like, Diana Taurasi was, when we were leaving high school, probably not that late, probably a little later than that. How old is Diana Taurasi?
She's probably
she got to be 40,
right?
Probably
she's about our age, right? Pushing 40. Yeah, she might be pushing 40.
Won 4 championships on a very stacked UConn team, but somebody else can tell me better than what I actually know, but I would probably recognize her as the GOAT, right? She's won a bunch of WNBA championships. She's won 4 national championships at UConn. But
some might say
more love for sure, but let's not hate on, like, it's not her fault for that. And now we're more into a social media where you click on, boom, Caitlin Clark's the first thing that you see in your feed, whether you're on Twitter, whether you're on Instagram, whether on Facebook, it doesn't matter. She's the first person on there shooting a 40-foot jump shot. I think it's that
GOAT
bringing
talk.
The game forward. Why? I guarantee you, WNBA ratings go up next year.
So that's all right. So that was going to be my next question for you guys. Do you think what Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark have been able to do in the last 2 years in NCAA, do you think it will be able to translate into the WNBA? And I don't mean their game, I mean viewership. Do you feel like the way they have been able to command the attention, in a sense, from people wanting to watch them play, do you think it's going to resonate in the WNBA? Do you think people are going to want to watch a WNBA to see what Caitlin Clark does, or Angel Reese, or whomever else is coming into?
I know you got an idea. EJ, but just let me get this off my chest real quick. I think there is. I think yes, in a sense, but I think there's more work to be done So what we did, not we, but what the NBA did in the All-Star game this year with bringing, oh my goodness, I'm blanking on her name.
Ionescu.
Yeah.
Yes, shooting with Steph. Like if they continue to do things like that, and then maybe the WNBA can bring in NBA players to bring that together, the game together. I think that pushes the women's game forward.
I
Right?
mean, I don't understand why they don't do more. Like you could utilize the women and the men and do like a skills challenge. I'm not saying to do
Yeah.
like a
Have
game,
fun with it.
but yeah, I mean, like utilize some of the all-star women and bring them to the weekend just like that and put them in the skills challenge as well. Like have a mishmash of teams together and just have some real fun with it. I think the All-Star weekend they need to inject a little bit more energy, some new stuff in there to really, because the dunk contest is like, I know that's not what we're talking about, but like the dunk contest is just ugh. So I think they need to find ways to really, and if they're really trying to evolve the game with the WNBA and like really get more viewership and really pump that up, they got to find ways to collab more, getting them to collab more with the NBA, where that's where people are watching. And it could also be that there's more market teams. The WNBA doesn't have that many, and then they play during the summer, so it's like, all right, it's cool, but then the problem is when they're getting into like the nooks and cranny of their season, here comes football, and it's like, oh, back to the NFL, back to college. So I think they got to find something, and I'm thinking they're hoping that something will be Caitlin Clark.
So I think when it comes to fandom, like the Midwest, they really rock for their teams. And I could see a city like Indiana really gravitating towards a Caitlin Clark, like really selling out the games. I could see people starting to actually watch her games just from her name because they want to see kind of like that LeBron James factor. There was so much hype on a person coming. I don't know if there's ever been an as hyped WNBA player to come into the league. So I bet you at least 2 to 3 times the people that would normally watch an opening day WNBA game for the Indiana Fever, they're gonna watch just because Caitlin Clark's there. I think I actually heard that they're moving their games to where the Pacers play because they expect more attendance to come
Well,
from.
just funny enough, they got the number one pick.
That's what I'm saying.
I
That's
assumed he
what.
knew that. That's why he kept
Oh,
saying that. Because
okay.
I looked it up too. I was like, he's got the number one.
I
I
figured-
wasn't just.
He going
I
No,
number
I
one.
figured he
going
was
number one.
trying to pick like a team somewhere in the Midwest. That's why he said the Midwest. But okay, all
No,
right.
specifically, but I'm just thinking of already the Iowa factor, and then I even think of it in a way of like Nebraska, how they sell out their women's college volleyball games. They sell out stadiums for that. So that region seems to have a different level of fandom. So I could see that being a great fit as far as intrigue, as far as people coming like butts in the seats, but also just viewership too.
Be
I
interesting.
my last thought is that I hope so.
Yeah,
To answer
Okay.
your
I mean,
question, right? Like I hope she brings, and that's the thing that kind of like ruffled me the wrong way is like why are we upset that a player is bringing ratings? No matter how it happens, right? Like somebody always paves the way, and they never get the recognition that they would have if they played in a later time, or if vice versa, right? Why are we upset about it? I don't understand. Like it's like jealousy. Like why are we jealous? Like we should raise her up and say, listen, like this is great. This is what we've been waiting for. Let's
but
take
you,
advantage of it. You know what I mean? Like I internally, right? Like you should be, dang, like I wish I was making NIL like she was, or I wish they would talk about me like, I'm, but you have to also understand like the day is changed. You
how many?
can't you can't find it. Like where was women's college basketball being played when Diana Taurasi was like a regular season big what is it, Big East game? Where was it being played on television?
I mean, Now UConn's women's
Right?
they got special privileges. They were on
But not
ESPN
during
and
the
stuff like
year
that.
though. They got it like during March Madness and things like that.
Yeah.
Like you weren't getting them on ESPN and ESPN2. It's
Mm.
transitioned into that. Right. And it's, you know, and
I mean,
I'm saying
UConn's
that
women's
like I'm guessing.
basketball
I'm
was
not
like
saying like I know 100% because I don't
yeah.
remember during that time, but it couldn't have been on. But when I'm
I'm
scrolling through and saying, oh, you know what, WNBA game, oh, Iowa's playing or South Carolina's playing, like you see it because there's an SEC network, right? There's a Pac-12 network. There's a, well, not anymore, I don't know, but there used to be. There's an ACC network. Like those things, those are things that are new. Those are things that are bringing more viewership to it. You know, you see college softball and college baseball more often than you used to. Like you wouldn't be able to catch a college baseball game 10 years ago on TV. You had to go and find like a special local channel to watch whomever you wanted to watch. So everything has changed. So I get it of like, dang, you know, I was hurt, right? But that should be an internal discussion with yourself. It shouldn't be you going out in public and hating on her because she's bringing the game forward. I don't like that. I ain't with that.
Well,
I don't know. I
I
don't know.
mean,
I don't
hey,
know.
we will
When
see
you're all time
shortly.
great, it's just you just you tick differently, like you work differently. So I can imagine like Michael Jordan being like, yo, none of these like people are anything close to my level, and they can have all these accolades, behind them. But I just think that if you're truly like you consider yourself the greatest, or you think that about yourself, it's hard for you to be like, oh yeah, they're better than me.
Well,
And that's what
like
I thought Stewie said it best. She was like, to be the GOAT, she was like, I got 4. Like in college. Like if winning championships isn't the criteria, what are we talking about?
Hey, listen, like
true.
I don't disagree with that. She might not. I mean, Caitlin Clark's got work to do. But in college, she broke the scoring record. She might have been the greatest scorer of all time, right? But let's not take away from the fact that she didn't play. She's not playing for a powerhouse school. She didn't play for Tennessee or UConn or South Carolina. Like she's playing for Iowa, where most of those girls aren't going to play in the WNBA. So a lot of these teams were pretty stacked. Like UConn has littered the WNBA since it became an organization. It's a feeder program to the WNBA.
So it's only 1 year so far, but Juju's on pace to break Caitlin Clark's record. Do you think she will be able to hold the same type of captivation?
I hope so. I really do.
I like her game. I like her game.
Yeah, I like her game as well.
I mean, she's not
got a marketable name too. So, Juju Watkins just rolls off the tongue. So it's a marketable name. She plays it in LA. Her game is nice, but I think there's work to be done, and I think it needs to be done by the game of basketball from the NBA down to allow them to continue to market those teams. Like, for instance, the Lakers can continue to try to market Juju since that's a local team, right? Like, take those advantages and do that. You know what I mean? Like, who's in Carolina? Is there, the Hornets can market South Carolina as much as they can, North Carolina, those type of things, where you continue to market those players so they can be seen on a regular basis. But I think it needs to be collective.
And my dog Q trying to do it, trying to get Caitlin to come over to the Big 3. So I got five M's for you.
That ain't bad for the season, because she could still get drafted.
Yeah, it's a summertime.
Join the team a little later. Hey, catch you a little quick 5 mil, but
quick 5 mil. My dog Ice Cube trying to market, trying to give it a shot.
Hey, why not? All right, well, let's move into the, we'll wrap that up. Only time will tell. WNBA draft coming up soon, so we'll see how that goes. But
fast.
It does. But let's jump into the men. UConn went back-to-back, first back-to-back since the Gators in 06-07. So, they ran the table. They beat everybody by double digits last year and this year. So they just been on a run. Now, the question is, are you impressed?
Of course. Anytime you go back to back, that's impressive. I mean, it ain't Hurley's fault that the rest of college basketball decided to deal with these one and done people. You know, and that's their decision. Hurley said, "I'm gonna do it another way. I'm gonna do it another way, and I'm gonna show you it works. Because I got continuity. I got a team. I don't have just these guys that are here for the money and trying to go to the league. So, I commend him. I commend what he's because UConn has always been a women's basketball school. They're known for women's basketball. They're not known for men's basketball.
What are you talking
They're
about?
known for Gino Auriemma is a god.
Yes,
He's
he
a
is,
guy.
but you
And
can't. You
if
can't
you're
make
talking
that
about
comment.
if you're talking about those Ray Allen and Rip Hamilton days, they were nowhere near these UConn women's
Yo,
national championship. teams. How
Kemba
many they got?
Walker won a national championship with UConn.
Yes, did they go back to back? Kimba did, and so did Napier. But Shabazz won one too. I do remember that. But again, they were still even with those two, they were still a women's.
That's 4 national championships right there.
How many
That's not
does
even looking at
UConn?
what they did? Huh?
Jimmy T, how many does UConn women have?
I mean,
No, I'm asking you a question. How many does UConn?
but I
women
tell you what, and I was gonna ask this question.
Is it
Jason,
double- is it-
how many undefeated teams have won a national championship in women's basketball?
A lot of them are UConn.
7, I think.
7.
I think so. Yeah.
I'm sure quite a few of them are UConn.
Probably.
But there's more parity in the men's game. Would we agree?
Yeah.
Right. So not that it's like that's impressive. Like go undefeated when national champions. That is insane. Winning in the March Madness is hard. Whatever men's or women's, but winning in March Madness is hard.
100%.
I mean, you got to go through. You know, you're going against a team that you've never seen play before. Like they catch you sleeping or napping. You have an off day. It's done. Like there's not a series. It's one game. You have one bad game, one bad shooting day. You're out. Right. So I'm impressed by two in a row. Well, how many times has it happened for the men's? 2 in a row, right? So you have UCLA, Duke,
UCLA is only
Florida.
3, Peter.
and then UConn, right? So 4 times it's happened in the history of March Madness of since it's went to 65.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
It is. I mean, I think at least a good amount of people probably had UConn at least in the area. Maybe not necessarily winning it, but at least probably in the area of coming close. So I mean, yeah, it definitely is impressive that they went back to back.
UConn it has the
didn't
third
they-
most national championships ever, tied with North
Who,
Carolina.
men?
The men. 99,
The third most
2004, 2011, 2014, and then the 2 that just happened.
Four is the third most ever.
Well, that'd be
that's
5.
6.
Oh, 6. Okay.
6.
UConn has 6 national championships for the men.
Yes.
That's
So
crazy.
that 99 team that you were talking about with Ray Allen,
Yeah.
2004, is that Kemba's team?
Yeah.
No, yeah, 2004. No, how old is Kemba?
No,
Nah, I don't-
Kemba
he
would have
definitely
been
wasn't that
after.
though. Who the
He-
heck?
he probably-
2011 was Kemba's team. 2014
Yeah.
was Shabazz's team.
Was
These
Shabazz.
2 teams, yeah.
And then now these two.
Yeah, who was
Me
on that
too.
20? Who was in that 014?
Damn, yo, well, these last 2, yeah, this definitely is putting them up there. 'Cause I'm thinking
But wasn't-
UCLA got mad ones, Duke, North Carolina. They got
But doesn't the UConn one wasn't it a pretty much almost a different starting 5?
what do you mean?
I
This
don't.
year?
Did they return
had
the
2
same
pros
5?
on their team last year. This is a
like-
whole new squad.
Like Hawkins went, but
And then I forget.
a lot of those. What I'm saying was a lot of those players were there for
So
last year.
let me ask you this question, and obviously we're all Gators, so try to remove the bias for a second. Do you find it that it was more impressive that the Gators did it, returning all 5 starters and them doing it again, or having a different starting 5 with UConn from last year to this year? Still had majority of the team, but
I think
obviously
UConn's
starter
run
wise.
is- I'll answer the question. I think UConn's run because they beat the last 2 years, beat everybody by double digits throughout the tournament.
Okay.
That's impressive. And you have to rebuild continuity. You know, if those guys decided that they all went to the NBA, they all decided to come back again, they probably would have won it 3 times in a row because there was such continuity. Because they went through the struggle that freshman year playing together. Some of them didn't even touch the floor. Joakim Noah didn't even touch the floor his freshman year, but he was in the struggle with them. And then the continuity would have been they probably would have at the very least been in the Final Four.
And they also would have had 4 NBA players on that team.
Well, I mean, how many people got drafted off of that team, right? They had
Spates, Brewer.
Spates wasn't on that team.
Yeah, the second one.
Yeah, Spates was on that team.
Yeah.
Well, Horford still playing.
Yeah,
Noah.
Still setting picks.
Corey Brewer.
Yeah.
Corey Brewer.
What's his name?
Torrey Green got drafted. He didn't.
Even what's his name? The backup center, Richards.
Yeah, Richard got drafted.
He was drafted in the second. No, he was in the second round. He went second round to Minnesota.
I know he went to. It wasn't the first.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Nah, it was second round.
First round pick.
The only ones that went in the first round were Noah, Brewer, and Horford.
Yeah,
those 3 went in the first round.
Yeah.
But yeah, they had
NBA players, you know.
They did.
So I still think UConn's is, I mean, double digits for 2 straight years. And I just said how hard it was to win, and especially with like all the parity that's had with people just up and leaving, and to keep your program together with the way that college athletics is right now. I think it's super impressive as well from a organizational and coaching standpoint as well.
I will agree with that because, you know, and comparing it to the women in a sense, with the women, for the most part, they stick around whatever school they go to. For the most part, they stick around for the 4 years.
Not no more. Well, that's wide open right now. I've seen so many women jumping in that thing.
Well, that's why I said for the most part. But on the flip side with the men, I mean, it's hard to keep it because you one and done because of the transfer portal. So it's hard to keep a team together to really compete. Hence why I'm going to transition right into it. Hence why Calipari decided to give up Kentucky. You know, I think it was
he got tired of the people.
Well, the problem is, I mean, it's hard to determine if he is a good coach. It's like you could look and say he's a good recruiter because he's bringing in all these 5-stars and he's producing, like, these guys are going into the NBA, so he's getting them there. So if his pitch is like, I could get you to the NBA, he can do it. But he can't give you a pitch like, yo, come to Kentucky or come wherever and we're gonna win some national championships. That ain't happening.
Not only does he get them to the NBA, they be all-stars. Like, did you see that all-star pick? It's
feeder
just
program. He feeds the NBA.
No, what he's been doing, he is equivalent of what the G League were trying to do with that Ignite team.
100%. Yeah, just get all the stars.
We're gonna call him Coach
what
G
he was
League
doing.
Cal. That's what we're gonna call him because I think he's a good coach. I think the game might be passing him by a little bit because of everything that's happening, but you're seeing it for everybody. Nick Saban out. Jim Harbaugh.
See, but I don't think so. I think I get what you're saying, especially with the portal and NIL and this, that, and the other. So kids, these student athletes are just going wherever they want to go. They're chasing dollars. You know, they're just like, I'm tired of here, going there. And I get it. I see from where you're going with the Nick Saban. Yeah, you know what? It was getting too much for him. But I think Calipari is a little different in this situation because he was getting the. Yeah, I think if there wasn't a one and done rule, I think you would have seen more success. But he can't keep the players. It's like I said, he is. If your recruiting pitch, if his recruiting pitch is like, yo, come play for me and I will get you to the NBA, well, damn it, hands down, let's go. Because he's going to get you there.
He's winning 80% of his games. I think it's 78, so I'm rounding up. 80% of his games with guys who are going to prom last year. He can coach.
The man
Come on, man. These kids are like, they're not even like adults yet.
But he's getting 5-star recruits.
They know that they're going to get money on the backside. Like, to be able to focus that and win games, and he didn't win championships.
Yeah, but my thing is
that. But I guarantee you, if there was a rule, if let's just say that college basketball was the same as the NFL, you had to be 21 to enter the NBA. Guarantee you has 3 or 4 more. Like I strongly and truly believe that it's he decided to go that route, so it's on him, right? He decided to say, "Listen, I'm going to recruit the best players. 90% of them are going to leave after the first year." But job number one is to bring talent. What you do with it, obviously. I'll tell you what. Besides UConn, every single AD this week was like, "Damn, I didn't know he was available."
Yeah,
because they were 100%. Dan Hurley is the only one. UConn is probably, I guarantee you, in 3 days he's going to have a contract extension that's X amount more money. But other than UConn, every AD at least in the back of their mind were like, "Ooh,
Arkansas
made that call."
They're thrilled, and Calipari's thrilled. He got more money, less headaches. The people, they're grateful in Arkansas for what he's done. They will give him a statue. And Kentucky, they're like, "Nah, get the guy. You're a bum. Get him out of here."
Would it be though if he brings Kentucky's recruiting class with him and goes and wins the national championship?
Oh man, you'd be sick in Kentucky.
I'd be happy because I don't like Kentucky fans. So
Yeah.
I'm surprised he stayed in the SEC.
That was interesting to me.
Well, because he wanted to be like, "Oh, y'all think y'all can do better than me?" All right.
Yeah, but I don't. From what it seems like, it wasn't like the school wanted him gone. So I don't. I'm going based off of what EJ just said. It was
there was a. I don't know if that's not true.
Not the school, EJ. It's the boosters. It's
okay, I'm about to. There was a contention.
See that AD2 was like, "I'm not getting rid of this dude. What you mean? We winning 80% of. I'm doing my job if my coach is winning 80% of the games."
There was a contention within the Kentucky conglomerate that wanted Calipari go.
And again, it goes back to the fact that it's like you could recruit all this talent but can't win nothing.
Yeah,
and that's what it was.
It's hard though. It's hard to win March Madness, man. I'm telling you.
We
just talked about the parity. Or I talked about the bringing back of the teams of Florida Gators teams. I guarantee if you look at those UCLA teams and those Duke teams that won, a lot of those were returning players that had been together in the program.
But again, I think a lot has to do with the fact that the 90. And that's probably kind of high. Let's go 75% of the players he recruits are one and done.
Yeah.
So it's like every year you look, it's almost a brand new team, a bunch another set of guys that just finished prom.
And if you're at Kentucky, you're expected to win national championships. I get it, 100%. But I guarantee you, Kentucky doesn't get their first choice or their second
for coach.
For their coach, who wants to walk into
that? Who would be your first choice? You're the AD. Who's your first choice?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, you're calling Dan Hurley 100%. He's already know he's gonna say no, but you got to call. But I mean, But the answer is I don't know, because most of these, like I guess Alabama, Nate Oates, they were number 1 overall seed last year, and then they made it to the Final Four this year, right? He's probably your second call. Or if you flip-flop those, depending on what you want to do. But why would Nate Oates leave?
So do you go, if you're Kentucky, and I'm going back based off of what you said at the beginning of this conversation, just about age, as far as Nick Saban, just how things are going. Do you look to go young, someone that understands and that can
100.
handle more of the times? Or do you look for, maybe you find an NBA coach that's looking for something that's out there, and you know what? Hey, you might be a good fit for this.
An NBA coach, in my opinion, just to answer that part of your question, if they're established and they can probably get another job, why would they want to go? It used to be a 10-month job where you got a couple in between where you kind of take some vacation, a couple months in between, take some vacation. But now the transfer portal opens for basketball during the NCAA tournament. During it, there's no sleep. Like you gotta turn around and go do it again. Dan Hurley right now is probably recruiting. Right now, he just won a national championship yesterday. I guarantee you he talked to a couple of players in the transfer portal, high school, whatever. 100%, and it doesn't stop. So why would you go to that? NBA coach, right? And a name that's been tossed around, Billy Donovan, right? Coached at Kentucky, was good friends with Calipari, coached under Rick Pitino, who was a big coach there as well. Billy Donovan left Florida two times. Came back the first time, plane just took a little loopy round.
I'm about to say he didn't leave long enough to even say he left.
But he left twice because he didn't want to do the recruiting thing. He wanted to put X's and O's and play ball. Like he didn't want to have to.
That hasn't really worked out either, but
Yeah, I mean, of course, but just
the Bulls got to get some players.
But why would he even, unless he felt like he would never coach in the NBA again, why would he leave an NBA job for the Kentucky job?
I get it. I mean, and you're dealing with grown men versus kids. You're worrying. You don't have to worry about certain things. I mean, there are multi-million-dollar contracts that these guys are getting. You don't got to worry about, I'm here today, gone tomorrow because I entered the transfer portal. And so I get it. It's a lot less stress when it comes to like player personnel on the NBA level than it would be on the NCAA level.
What y'all probably also don't know is one of John Calipari's really, really good friends is the owner of Tyson Chicken, who also happens to be one of the major contributors to Arkansas. So who knows?
Well, I mean, you got Tyson's Chicken, you got
and that Walmart money.
And then you oh my goodness, the snake oil salesman.
Oh, Jerry Jones.
Jerry Jones. Filling the pockets of NIL deals.
I'm sure Calipari like, hey,
he's gonna pull in some talent, and if he can adjust if he goes into NIL or into the transfer portal and using the NIL for that to get like older guys that mesh with these younger players, I think it'll be real funny. He goes out. I mean, next year will be real funny. But if the next couple of years goes out and wins the national championship with Arkansas, because they're gonna be kicking themselves in the foot, man. They're gonna be like, "What?"
I mean, it'll be interesting.
But Jason, to go back to the question you asked, I 100%, if I was an AD, I'd look for a young and upcoming coach who's gonna be all about the grind. And because the other name that got tossed around was Rick Pitino coming back, right? He coaches at Iona, but he's 71. Is he really gonna want to go and do the grind?
Well, he has St. John's right now. Yeah.
Oh, it's St. John's. I'm sorry. He went from Iona to St. John's. That's right.
Mm.
So is he really going to want to, do something like that as well? Like, I feel like you might have to go with younger guys because the grind is a little bit harder.
Yeah.
You got to recruit your own players to stay.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Rick been struggling with St. John's recruits.
Has it been rough?
It's been rough.
Well, hey. We'll see. It's just the gift that keeps on giving. So,
y'all want to hear the roster of that 2004 UConn team?
Yeah, who was on that team?
There's names. So Ben Gordon.
That's who.
Charlie Villanueva.
NBA.
Big guy. Emeka Okafor.
NBA.
Okay, Emeka. Yeah.
Let's see who else went to the NBA on this team.
Yeah, they were all good. Not great,
made it,
but decent.
Ben Gordon was good in the NBA.
He was
Ben Gordon was good until he got hurt. Injuries derailed him.
Yeah.
I mean, okay. He was okay.
You might have been too young.
I remember Ben Gordon. Played for the Bulls. I remember Ben Gordon. He was all right.
You might have been too young. It's all right.
That college team though was good. I remember them.
2004, you were sleeping on Zoe's bed?
I was in high school, sir.
Oh, okay. Never
2004 was my senior year. So.
Okay. Never mind.
EJ was still a freshman or something. I don't know.
Man, EJ was still
not around that.
He's the baby. No,
I remember.
Man was learning how to drive. But I don't know. We'll see. Well, let's jump into some NBA action. We got the playoffs around the corner. This is the last week of the NBA season. The season ends on Sunday. So we are coming down to an end here where we got, turmoil with the Bucks. We got
Might not be
So-
no more turmoil.
Well.
Yeah.
Giannis went out with a calf strain,
Today?
and it was one of those where we've seen it all before, where it could be an Achilles. It was an inbounds play, and all he was doing was jogging up the court, fell to the ground.
Really?
So
I did not see that. I was I missed that.
non-contact injury, the whole shebang, needed help. Yes, Mr. Achilles tear.
This guy.
So so who knows? I mean, they're calling it the calf strain. It happened in the
boy.
third quarter. They're calling it a calf strain. They said he'll get an MRI. So I don't know. Not
that
looking
is-
too
that-
good.
That is
to-
tumultuous news.
Just
That
to
is
let you know
tumultuous.
that the part of your body that hurts when you rupture your Achilles is your calf, because the Achilles is now no longer a part of your. It hurts the most there. So I remember thinking the same thing, like, damn, my calves are killing me prior to actually tearing it, and after that, boy.
So
I
let me
didn't
ask
see
you
it.
this:
I didn't
were
see
you
it.
able to walk at all?
Like after?
Like, no, when it happened, like, were you
No,
able to
bro,
like?
you go. So I mean, if you wanted to drag your foot, you probably could have. But I knew exactly what it was, so I didn't even try.
Okay, well,
'Cause I knew.
he needed help up, and then he kind of limped into the locker room, but he was walking on his own accord.
Well, didn't
So
Aaron
that's what I was.
Rodgers
That's
walk
what I
too?
was. That's what I was curious. Well, not Aaron Rodgers. I think they kind of helped. I don't know. I don't remember. Did
Yeah.
he walk?
I don't know. I know Kobe
feel
walked
like he
after
did.
his. Kobe shot some free throws and then walked off. So
That's true.
it made me look
I
like
didn't see
pansy.
that.
But I ain't shoot no free throws after mine. But I tell you what, if I knew exactly what it was, so I was like, y'all gotta come get me. So but I think, and that was the thing, I never got a chance to go off on this show about all the people that were saying that Aaron Rodgers was going to come back last year
The heck?
because he was standing on it and throwing with a peg leg. Like, bro,
With a peg leg.
it's got nothing to do with standing. It's about the motion of your foot fluctuating through an entire walking stance and running stance and putting pressure on it and all of that extra stuff. There was no way that Aaron Rodgers was coming back at all. Zero. I would have put my yearly salary on it with anybody that wanted to bet with me that he was not going to play another down of football last year. So and with somebody that's as big as fast as Giannis is, and I get it, like sports medicine, but Durant didn't play for a whole year. That part of that was by design, but because he was going to sign elsewhere. But he didn't play for an entire NBA season. You know what I mean?
This late in the year, if it's an Achilles, I mean, hopefully it's not.
He won't
But
play
if
until
it is, he's out
this
all of
time
next
next year.
season. That's what I'm saying. He's gonna probably miss all of next season.
Yeah.
It's
we
just
won't.
so late in the year that it's gonna be rough.
Yeah, that's sad to hear. I couldn't believe I hadn't heard in that because I was really focused on that Heat Pigeons game that I forgot that I looked at it. They only had 2 free throws in that entire game, which is crazy.
They set a
I've never
record.
even heard of that before.
It's an NBA record for 2 free throws in the game. The Celtics shot 0, and the Bucks only took 2.
What kind of
That's it.
refereeing was in this game?
I didn't watch it, and now I'm curious because I'm like,
No.
you're telling me
They
that
didn't
the
have
sheer
any
amount of times that
There
Giannis
wasn't
goes to the
anybody out
hole,
there monitoring the game. That's the
Tatum
only
goes
way.
to the hole, Jaylen
Yeah,
Brown
I'm
goes
like,
to the hole,
These are people that drive. Giannis,
Dame
like what?
Lillard goes to the hole. Like,
What
how
part
is
of the
it?
game did Giannis get hurt?
I think the third quarter.
Yeah,
So he shot 2 free throws, or he didn't shoot any free throws. I'm just
Let me see who
curious.
shot
Yeah,
the free throws.
because he's like a
The
freight
free
train.
throws were shot by Giannis was the only person in the game to shoot the 2 free throws,
through 3
and he went 1 of 2.
that's insane.
Yep, that was it.
That's
the
wild.
only person to shoot free throws in a game where you got a bunch of people that drive to the hole.
Yeah,
I'm convinced that there were no refs in this game.
Yeah,
Because I'm just looking at, I mean, between Tatum, Brown, even Holiday, Derek White, Patrick Beverly started, and he's always good for catching something. Brooke Lopez, Giannis, Lillard, Middleton.
Adam
telling-
probably was like, let him play.
You're telling me that Patrick Beverly played a basketball game and didn't foul somebody?
Well, no. Wait,
Adam said let him play.
just because
Free
you
throws.
foul doesn't
Free
mean
throws.
you're shooting.
He fouled somebody on the shoot.
But he had no fouls in the game, though.
That's
It's
kind of like
shocking.
Will. That's kind of like Will Smith. He's like, "Come on, Cap. You know I shot some people." It's
It's shocking.
just
So-
shocking here. Okay, So I don't know.
So I mean, let's if we're looking at that. So we're looking at the standings, right? So obviously, right now, only two teams in the East have secured a playoff spot, and that's Boston and Milwaukee. And in the West, you got three: Minnesota, Denver, OKC. Those three are still fighting for the number one seed in the West. Right now, Minnesota owns it because they won tonight. But if Denver continues to win their game against Utah, they'll move back up to first. And clearly, Boston has locked that up. And they locked that up a while ago. But what's interesting right now is, as we're talking about Milwaukee, there's a lot of going on there. I feel like, Doc took over and they only had 13 losses. Like, Doc has lost more games since he's taken over than where they were at before they fired the other coach, which is interesting. And then you still got
poor Susie in the travel department.
Keep forgetting to
Booking
pack his
5-star
lucky
hotels,
blanket.
catching strays on a Monday.
Keep forgetting to pack his lucky
Blaming-
blanket ain't been there on the
Yeah.
road trips, messing them up.
The guy who loads the bags is like, "What is that fuck me for?" I don't understand. What is he doing? Why are we? I don't understand. He's not.
You
a good
think-
coach.
okay, so you feel that way too, EJ? Doc is not a good coach.
I think that if you have Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, and Ray Allen on a team, and they're in their prime, and you have a Rajon Rondo who's able to just distribute to them, and who's also like a stellar defensive player, you got a chance to win the chip. I don't care who the coach is. Like, you gotta, and they won in their first year. They won literally their first year coming together. They won it, and then they went back again their third year. Like, that was a good collection of talent. Three top 100 players of all time on the same team. So,
Okay.
Yep. Agreed.
All right. So I mean, what are we looking at in these in the playoff hunt? I mean, I'm pretty sure.
Yep. Can I
Everything-
ask a question, Mr. Host?
Yeah, go for it.
Sure. So before the Giannis news, so let's
Okay.
kind of erase that from my memory. Did y'all think that Milwaukee was going to hang on to the number 2 seed?
Yeah.
I
'Cause
mean,
I
They
just
lost
don't.
6 of 7.
Yeah, I don't
lost
think the
last
Knicks are going to be able to do anything to take the 2 seed. I just didn't think. I thought they would have folded as it comes down to the wire, and Milwaukee would have won just enough games to hold on to the 2 seed. I think for
Tonight's win was
Milwaukee,
big. Tonight's win was big.
tonight's win was big,
yeah.
but I think for Milwaukee, they need to be in the 2 seed. I don't think they want to drop to the 3 and risk playing Philadelphia in the first round if Philly is able to jump Indiana. With a healthy Embiid and them with no Giannis, I don't think that's something they want to deal with. I think they rather sit at 2 and hope that they get a matchup that works in their best favor based off of the seeding after the play-in.
Well, they had like a, after that Nick debacle that they had where they were up by like 20 something and let them track them down and lose by like 18. They had the, infamous team meeting, where everyone, a call to arms, so to speak, and Doc made a change. He decided to take out Michael Beasley and put in Pat Bev into the starting lineup. And to me, I'm like, it makes sense because defensively, Beasley and Dame, they play zero defense. So at least Pat Beverly's gonna try. He's gonna be someone that's gonna be an irritant to whomever the backcourt is. So that helps them have some sort of defensive identity because they've been looking real suspect on the defensive end, and that's been their problems. They can score with the best of them, but they can't stop anybody. They let everybody else score too. So at least I see them trying. But is that enough for them to make a deep, meaningful playoff run? No, it's not. It's not. I think
Well,
that
without
Middleton
Giannis,
is a huh.
without Giannis,
I mean, we know what Giannis is going to give you. You pencil Giannis in for 35 and 12. You just pencil him in for it. That's probably what he's going to give you. But it's what if everybody else going to do? If everybody else isn't contributing or they're not holding up their end of the bargain, then he just had a great game and a gentleman's sweep, you know?
Yeah, I mean, look, it is what it is.
so I just a little civil war here. I was very surprised that EJ didn't catch on to the Sixers being the 7th seed instead of the Heat.
Hey, you know, 8th seed, 9th seed, 7th seed, you just, if we in there,
if you're the 9th seed, you're not in. So let's
as long as we're in the play-in, we are going to be in the playoffs.
Well, right now, as the standings hold, you would play Philly in the play-in game, which means that you would have to beat Philly.
I like
the
that.
7th seed.
I like that.
So Jason is saying that you're going to lose to Philly in the play-in game.
I mean, we lost to Atlanta last year in the play. Yo, I'm telling you,
Yeah,
there's something about us in the playoffs. I don't know if it's Pat and Spo coming down and speaking to these boys. I don't know if Jimmy has an exorcism. There is something when we play playoff basketball that we are the bullies of the Eastern Conference. I keep telling y'all this. We done sent Joel home. We done sent Jason Tatum home. We done sent Giannis home. You know what? We done fired all their coaches. They all got new coaches. Every last one.
Well, hopefully one of these new coaches are better than what they had. Okay. I just figured you didn't catch on to that. Or maybe you were just trying to hold some restraint.
Nah, man. It's just we're not a regular season team. We're just not.
Good talk.
Haven't been for a while.
No, but we come together when we need to. So, it's all good.
That's what savvy vets do. Look at our core. Look, our core has been to 3 Eastern Conference finals and 2 finals appearances. Our core has been to that. And nobody else core in the East been to that.
True. But I am curious for one thing, though, because we'll get into our last little topic for the night. Nice little interesting debate. All-star versus superstar. I feel like we had this talk before, but just to give some context, and I text you because it was a night I called you, EJ, and I was like, yo, I need a Heat fan right now because my boy was saying some wild stuff. So just to put it out there, he was talking about how the only reason in his mind Dwayne Wade is a superstar is because he won a scoring title. So he feels to be a superstar, you need more than just an NBA championship. Like you need other accolades to make yourself, like you need to either be a league MVP, win a scoring title, defensive player of the year. Like you need something else to justify being a superstar versus an all-star. And I was like, that's wild because you can look at James Harden as a superstar because he won a MVP, but the man's never won a title. And you're talking because Wade won, just because he won a scoring title, that's what made him a superstar in your opinion. So I'm like, that's just crazy. The man's got 3 NBA championships, a finals MVP, and that was your reasoning. So my thing is this, and again, so the way the conversation started, we were talking about Jason Tatum, and he was like, yeah, Jason Tatum, he doesn't think he's good. He's not a fan of him. And, he was like, yeah, he's not a superstar or anything like that. And I'm like, what do you mean? I think he's a superstar. I think he's probably one of the top players in the league right now. I'm like, and so that's how the conversation started. So what is your definition of an all-star versus a superstar? So just give me people who you would deem as an all-star versus a superstar.
So just on D Wade, just not even to just to go down the many accolades of D Wade, but the man is a 13-time All-Star. If that don't make you a superstar, You've made the All-Star team 13 times out of your career. You're probably a superstar. I'm not saying 3 times. I'm not saying 5 times. 13 times. So I'm just gonna go out there on a limb. If you made 10 plus All-Star games in your career, you were probably a superstar at some point in time. If you've made 10 double-digit All-Star games, believe you probably were a superstar.
Okay. So that you're
for the sake of time. Oh, go ahead.
No, go. What are you gonna say?
That was
For the
just
sake of time. I'm not going to go into naming players and things like that. This is from me though, and you can read it however you want. When the resume meets the eye test, that's for me the superstar. Like if he's everything you need him to do, how he does, plays on the floor, whether it's offensive, defensively, whatever, and you add it to the resume that they have, scoring title, champion, MVP, All-Star. When it meets the eye test, that's the superstar.
So do they need all of that? So let me
They
ask
don't
you.
need all of it. They don't need all of it.
Is Jason Tatum a superstar in your eyes right now?
Jason Tatum would be a superstar right now.
So he's not.
No, I said he is.
Oh, I thought you said will be a superstar.
Yeah, I mean he is, and
okay.
I think where we talked about when we did talk about it,
because he's won nothing. He's won nothing.
When we talked about it before, EJ didn't want to put him as a superstar status, right? And we had to look at the trajectory of what's happening of his career. Now, eventually, he's got to start winning something to stay a superstar, right? But when they're young players like that, so I feel like he's being punished because he got so good so fast. But when you're constantly in contention every year and you're doing what you're doing by leading your squad, I would say you're a superstar. Now, eventually, you got to start putting together. But he's an all-star every year. He's all NBA, 3 or 4 years in a row now, right? He's been to the NBA Finals. He's been to the Eastern Conference Finals a couple times. You know, those are all things that will put you in superstar status. So when his game meets the resume, that for me is a superstar.
I'm gonna say the last person on this list of 10 All-Star appearances is John Stockton. Would you say he was a superstar?
Yes.
Okay. So that's the type of list of people that are on it. I mean, there's Isaiah Thomas, there's Allen Iverson, there's Patrick. You know, these are, if you've gotten to double-digit All-Star appearances, you're a superstar. You've had the longevity enough.
Just to compound on what a little bit of information, I don't know if you mentioned it just now, but a little bit of information that you had with in this conversation, this debate that you had. Some of these accolades, as far as like a scoring title or an NBA, like a scoring title, there's only one of those every year, right? There's only one MVP every year, and that's based on people voting for you. So it's, you know, it's not something like you could have had a better year. I mean, how many times have we disagreed who won MVP?
True.
You know, so there's those things are fluctuated, right? But when there's consistency, like all-star appearances, because it's just undebatable that you're an all-star, like constantly over and over and over again, 10 plus, right? The last person was John Stockton. It's pretty obvious that everybody sees the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Now there's players throughout the years that have been snubbed and things like that, but eventually those things start to work itself out. You know, so I have to agree with EJ on this.
Everybody on this list is
Okay, so 10 All-Stars, 10 All-Star appearances deems you worthy of superstar status.
You've had to be a superstar at some point. It's just to have that type,
right? John Stockton led, and at point in history was the leading assist man at some point, right? Isaiah Thomas is a 2-time champion, right?
Carmelo Anthony's on this list. You would consider him a superstar.
Carmelo Anthony was a superstar, and that's one where I feel like you get into the Jason Tatum debate, right? Mm-hmm. Never eventually ended up winning a championship, right? But he was, at some point, he was one of the toughest people to stop on the offensive end for a 3 or 4 year span. Like it didn't matter who you put on him, he was going to score.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, he never won a championship. You know, so like it just depends on how you view it, and I think that's a great thing about sports too, is that everybody's going to have a different opinion about it.
Yeah, I mean, going to the Knicks.
Carmelo Anthony was definitely 100% a superstar at some point in his career.
Yeah.
I could agree with that. You know, Phil, unfortunately, he's gonna go down like, Chuck.
Yeah.
That great.
Chuck, no championships.
Yeah,
I mean, because
won.
He had the talent to do it. I mean, Melo had all the talent in the world. It's just you can't go to the Knicks and expect to win a chip. And then, I mean, he should have, did what we told him to do, and he would have been on that, that Heatles train. We tried to bring him into the fold, but he ain't really want to rock with
too.
us.
Because I mean, if you think about it, if Detroit would have drafted him instead of Darko, he would have had a pretty good opportunity to go win a chip, because he would have been around obviously a team that just won one, but like veterans who are all playing defense. He didn't really have to go out there and distribute the ball, because he already had his floor general and Billups. A good opportunity.
You're right. That might be one of the greatest draft blunders in the history of drafts. Taking Darko over Melo, Bosh, and Wade.
I mean, but they won a championship, so
yeah, you're right. They did get a chip.
Who's to say it would have been the same?
Yeah.
Why did they end up having that pick? I can't remember.
The second pick?
Yeah, after they won the chip. Was it
Darko was their second. They won that year when they drafted Darko. So that LeBron, Wade, Bosh draft, that was the same year they won.
I was thinking they won the championship, and then the very next draft they had.
That was the same. No? That was the same year.
Okay.
With them. Yeah. So, but that's what we're saying. Like, if they drafted Carmelo instead of Darko, I mean, but you never know. They may not. They may not win. You never know.
Larry Brown.
Man, what did Darko do on that team?
Darko didn't play though.
That's what I'm saying. So
I
think they would have been
though. That's the thing though.
Allen.
You're right. Yeah, he had enough. Yeah, he had enough of that. He saw those braids and he had like a flashback. He said, "Oh, he got braids and a headband and tattoos." Oh no, I've seen this story before.
Ended up with George Karl, who is the smartest basketball dumb man I ever heard. Like he gets so personal.
Yeah,
like, he's a lot of success in the league, but he just says some stuff that just like it's because he don't like the person, or he has some kind of view about the type of person it is. Like I don't like him.
He offended his airness. Michael said he was at dinner and just was like, "Hey, how you doing?" He said the man snubbed him, and he said that's why he had to go get busy on the Supersonics. He said, "That's for your coach." Coach snubbing me at the steakhouse. I got you.
At the steakhouse.
Man. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It's interesting though. I thought it was just an interesting take. So, question for you, EJ. So Kyrie's a superstar?
Oh, well, it's interesting that you say that. I'm gonna give you a little. I didn't know that you were gonna ask me this question, but I got a little information here.
You were ready? You were ready?
I wasn't. I just sometimes, I feel like you might ask a question or two, and I just. All
right, so what you got?
I like to be prepared. I was not ready, but just.
Oh, I thought you were ready. The way you made it seem was like you were ready. You had it locked and loaded.
My apologies.
It's all good though. Hey, it is. You figure this is something you would know since you're a fan of Kyrie.
No. We don't got time for that.
That's awesome. It's gonna take him forever. Mm-hmm. So it is what it is. But as he's doing that, maybe we'll come back to it. Jimmy T, got any kicks of the week for us this week?
Oh, hold on. But why are you looking those kicks up? I have some breaking news here. Hold on.
Breaking news.
Okay.
Why, something happened?
So just a set of few teammates to average 25 points per game on 60% shooting. These are a list of teammates that have done this in their career together as teammates.
Wait, what was it again? I'm sorry. Say it again.
Average 25 points a game on 60% shooting.
Okay, so we're talking about teammates.
Yeah, two teammates. Yeah,
tandems. I mean, we were talking. So now the superstar is attached to somebody.
Hold on. I'm going to give you this list and tell me if everybody on the list of superstars? That's all I'm asking.
I'm just okay. So we're attaching people. Okay,
Well,
go for
this
it.
is a
Go,
list.
no. Do your list. Do your list. Do your
Okay.
thing. Go for it.
So Larry Bird and Kevin McHale.
Oh, you need answers?
Yeah, I'm asking
Okay.
superstars.
All right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
okay.
yeah, okay. Kevin Durant and Steph Curry. Superstars.
Yeah,
No,
all right.
okay. Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. Superstars. Yes, no.
I'll come back to that one.
Oh,
Come back to
interesting.
that one. I'm not. I mean,
Okay.
I mean,
all right.
'cause-
well, the other one is Luka and Kyrie, but it's interesting. You don't think Devin Booker's a superstar?
I don't know. I don't
What?
know. I don't know. He hasn't done anything. But I mean, if we're going based off of what you said, I mean, how many All-Star appearances does Devin Booker
Well,
have?
I'm not. So he's too young. I don't even know if he's been in the league 10 years yet. But this man, I don't think we've seen a scorer like this. Like he's like Kobe 2.0. Like I don't think I've ever like it's Kobe and it is him as a scorer in the league. Nobody else be putting up 60, 70 points the way this man does.
I mean,
I
I'm
thought
not
that
saying
that was interesting because what it's 20 averaging 25 points and shooting 60% teammates. Correct. Kyrie Irving doesn't average 25 points for his career.
Ooh.
So
This
Ooh.
this season, what is he at?
Not a superstar.
Oh, he looked at one season.
No, I'm talking about this. I'm talking about this season.
Not a
Ooh.
superstar.
That man had
Kyrie
to,
Irving's
that
not a
man,
superstar.
that man had to do
No,
this
he don't
season.
even average 25 for his career.
That's
Don't be
not that.
putting
Don't
out-
wait a minute. 25 for the career now. That okay. Now you don't have to average 25 for the career to make
How
you a
long has he been
superstar.
in why?
That's the cutoff mark. 25. That make you got to average 25 to be a
I'm
superstar.
using 25 because that's what you use to make it
I
sound
just
like he
no.
was great.
I gave you a
Because
list
he's
of
averaging
teammates.
25 and shooting 60%
Yeah.
from the field.
So all the other
For
teams,
this year.
these people didn't do this for their careers. What I'm telling you, I'm just saying, as teammates, these people have done it. So
Again,
I'm just giving you the
you had to
company he
attach him to Luka to make your point of him being a superstar. So you could have done the same way. You could have attached him to LeBron when LeBron went back to Cleveland.
he does
Well,
all the time. When he says he's
You
a
need to
champion.
attach him to something or to somebody, I should say,
LeBron, hold
for
on.
him to be a
Hold on.
superstar.
LeBron came
That's a
to
good point.
playing with Kyrie. It was not the other way around.
No,
LeBron came
LeBron
to play with
went-
Kyrie.
LeBron
it
went
wasn't the
back to
other way
Cleveland.
around. You feel
LeBron
me?
went back to
No,
Cleveland.
hey, no.
He saw-
if Kyrie
wait, hold on,
Irving
hold on,
wasn't
hold
there,
on.
that man wasn't going back to no damn
Hold
Cleveland.
on.
He was not going back to Cleveland.
LeBron, before LeBron left to go to Miami, did he not have Cleveland in the finals?
Jason, if
Wait, hold on.
Kyrie
Answer the question.
Irving-
Answer the question. Did he not have Cleveland in the finals?
He had him in the finals, and they got
Okay.
swept.
And then he leaves, and once he's gone,
To learn to come
Kyrie-
and play with us. Yeah.
Kyrie and the Cleveland Cavaliers win no more than 25 games in a season.
That does not. That
So
does not.
I'm
Who did
looking
he
at it
come
from
back
the,
to play with?
hold on. I'm looking at
You
it from
think
this standpoint. I built the team. I had Cleveland on the map. I leave and it's a dumpster dive again. You know what? I need to go back and resurrect. I need to go back and do something for my city. And that's
The
what he
man
did.
tried to get him again on the Lakers, Jason. He tried to backdoor and get him again on the Lakers.
Because the Lakers ain't have nobody. Exactly. You need to tie Kyrie to somebody. Kyrie cannot stand
Or
alone.
he went back to Cleveland because he had unfinished business.
He wanted to go play with Uncle Drew. He said it.
Yo,
He was like, I need no. He literally was like, yo,
He said it.
I can't do it with D Wade no more. He was like, my dog knees not what they used to be. Like, I need to go younger. I need to go get a dog. Not to say that my dog D Wade wasn't no dog, but he went in and got a young dog. And you saw what happened. Don't act like Kyrie didn't hold his own in the playoffs. Like,
look,
He
all
still
I'm
attached
saying
him.
is you
He
have to
went back and
attach
played for Cleveland. He didn't
Kyrie
go back to play with
to
Kyrie.
a star. You can't take Kyrie and put him on a team and he's going to be that dude. He's not. You have to attach him to somebody. You have to attach him to someone that's better than him. Think about who you said. You
It
said
ain't many
Luka.
people.
You said Luka, and then we had to go to LeBron. Like that's what you
LeBron
gotta
came
do.
to him. He did not go to LeBron. And he was traded to the Mavericks. This is the team that he was traded to. What you want the man to do? What you want the man to do?
I mean,
All he does is all a man does is get busy.
he's an all-star. I give him that. He's an all-star. He's an all-star.
Disrespectful, man. He's a generational talent. Man. Y'all
He's
wow.
a generational talent.
You heard what
now.
I said.
Talent.
You heard what I said. Put that on wax. He's a generational talent.
Talent, not player.
Ooh.
Oh, and your boy Trae Young is
He's better than Kyrie Irving is.
crazy.
He averages more assists.
Better.
He averages more points.
Smoking that stuff.
He's done more with a team that's just his than Kyrie ever did with a team that was just his. 100%.
Put that on wax.
100%.
I'm not even gonna get into it. Continue
Listen,
with
talent don't make you a great player, bro. Like he's probably the most talented player in the NBA. Might be the most talented player ever. That don't do that. It doesn't matter unless you put it all together.
He put it together this year.
Yeah, this year, but not for his career. That 25 points that you talking about, he ain't done that for his career.
Carry on with your little sneakers.
Jason knew what he was doing with that one.
All right, Jimmy T, what we got for kicks of the week?
Let's see.
Hey, do we got any Kyrie shoes? Even I do like his
Man,
shoes, but he
Kyrie
ain't got
bumped them
no.
whole. Don't do that. The young people love the.
I love his shoes. Well, I don't know what he got now. He left Nike. One Nike.
Yeah, he just colors over the Nike swoosh now.
Oh, okay.
I think that's what he did though, didn't he? Didn't he color over the Nike swoosh or something like that?
Man, I'm not letting y'all just.
No, I'm
not.
not.
I think he did that when the whole thing first came out.
I'm sure that's happened. Yes, when they want to deal with it, I'm sure that happened. But that's not what he's doing now. He's not just out there coloring Nikes. My goodness.
So
he's a strange individual.
I think something with how you're setting this up, Mr. Board Ops.
Nah, something's going on with it tonight. Because I'm even looking at the timer, and the time is off as well. So something is happening. So I'm not sure if this is even streaming well. Who knows? Figure it out tomorrow. Figure it out tomorrow. Because I mean, it's showing like we've been going for 50 minutes. But if I look onto,
it says 120 minutes. Well, an hour and 20 minutes. Sorry, not 120
mine only shows me 50, so I don't know what's happening. It is what it is. But anywho, you can tell us what shoes you got. We don't got to see them at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, this is, you guys, last time I tried to go with the flow and put Zion out there. Y'all didn't like it too much. So I'm gonna go back to your regular dunks here.
Ooh, which ones?
I like this.
That was a special shoe made for him.
That was
like
a special shoe.
Color with a light blue pipe into it.
Orthopedic type of shoe.
He's got
something that you need, EJ.
Jordan
so you got
collaboration.
Got jokes.
Montel Jordan.
Naruto. Like anime.
Oh. I said Montel Jordan. I was like, wait, what?
This is how I'm about to say that this is how we do it.
I'm like, damn. I'm like, Nike really putting out there with their collabs.
Yeah, these are it's like a almost like a cognac tan. It's got a little light blue, like a Carolina blue pipe into it. Kind of sweet. I wish I could show y'all. This is sad.
Huh.
These are nice though. But your typical dunks.
What are they called? Naruto?
Light British tan. No, I was talking about the Naruto thing is Zion's thing. He had a collaboration with Jordan and Naruto, one of them anime things.
You said they light blue?
They're tan, but they got light blue accent.
Tan.
It's called the Light British tan.
Light British tan. All right, I want to see what these things look like. Light British tan. Well, I'm not finding them.
Go to nicekicks.com. There you go.
Sure, that's what they call.
A free plug for you.
Where?
Nicekicks.com.
Nicekicks.com.
Again, another plug. Free plug for Nice Kicks. Appreciate y'all giving us the insight.
I'm just trying to see what you're looking at. Where they at?
DJ's upset.
Yeah,
he is. He in his feelings.
That
I
wasn't
think
it,
he
fellas.
debating either if he should really cop those Zions to help him with his bad legs
No, nobody.
or
That ain't
what.
gonna help.
Ah,
Oh,
I see
did you
them. Okay, they nice. They ain't
EJ,
bad.
did you see the NC State player on the bike in the Final Four?
I did. I missed it, but
Yeah.
I'm sure nothing good
Have
came
we-
of it.
Have we said that on the show yet? That EJ thinks
Yeah,
when
we
somebody's on the bike that they're done for their
Hey.
career.
we've said
telling
it
you, it's
before.
Foolproof.
Yeah, okay.
Wait, career or the game?
I was just being funny
Oh.
for the game, but you know, EJ like to exaggerate.
Wait, so EJ, is that why you was always riding your bike in New York because you knew you was done?
Man, that is a means of transportation. So this is a
Oh.
stationary bike we're talking about.
Oh,
People
okay,
that, when you're on a field of play, you're not supposed to be on a bicycle. That's all I'm saying. That's not where the bicycle should be utilized.
Okay, hey, I'm just hoping, when you get them Zions, you post a picture for us to see.
Nobody's getting those Zions. I don't think anybody is buying those.
I feel like it's good for you.
Sounds like you really like them, Jason.
they might be
feel like
buying
it's
him in Durham and no wait, is that where do they play where does Duke play?
Yes, North Carolina,
Durham.
like Durham.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Durham, right? Yeah, they might
Raleigh
be buying
is
him in
what,
Durham
USC?
and New Orleans somewhere. But outside
I didn't see one Zion shoe. I was down there in
Tell
New
you
Orleans.
what though, I'm definitely gonna be trying for these Kobe's that's coming out next week.
I'm sad about the Grinches.
I wanted the reverse Grinches. I got wrong.
You say you're
there.
sad
I
about them?
wanted them both, but I
Me
really
too.
wanted those red ones. I wanted
Oh,
the
they're not
reverse.
making them anymore?
They're just
They came out like December, and things
Vanessa
went
pulled
real
okey
quick.
doke on us.
Or
Oh, I'm about to say, I
November.
see a bunch of people.
Vanessa said there was more pairs out there. I don't believe her.
I've seen quite a few people with them. That's why I was like,
But nah, they got
of
these
course.
Italian camos coming out that are pretty fly, and the Venice Beach are nice too. So the Kobe 6 Italian camo, so they're like the same style as the Grinch, and then he's got the Kobe 8s, the Protos, Venice Beach. Them things are nice. That's
I got
fun.
a trivia question for you guys.
Oh,
Ooh.
all right.
Didn't think
you
you'd be
got?
prepared. You were
Oh man,
distracted.
It's
before
probably
you got here.
a Kyrie question.
Oh god.
There you
no
go.
Kyrie question, but it is about an illustrious legend.
Okay.
Oh,
You
okay.
know, the famous Pat Riley was drafted to the NBA, but what other professional sport was he drafted to? And for bonus points, if you can name the team.
Pat Riley. I mean, he's a tall guy.
I'm gonna say baseball.
I was getting ready to go baseball as well.
say
I was thinking
baseball.
baseball. I don't see him. I don't see
him.
him as a football player,
There was probably 24
but I could see it
teams
being
at the
hockey.
time.
So Dog Pat was out there on the ice. Yeah, nice little stick
from?
play.
Where's he from?
Huh?
I don't know where he's from,
you
but he
know.
played for Kentucky. I don't know where he's from though.
Well, that could help the question. If he's from up north, he's from Wisconsin.
You're right.
He might be playing hockey instead of baseball.
Let me
I
see.
mean, that's what I'm saying. I'm thinking
I'm going
Let's see.
baseball though. And I'm just gonna take a shot in the dark. Let's say the New York Mets.
He said baseball in the New York Mets. I'm trying to see where Pat is from.
Hey, he went to Mets. A New York team sounds good.
Oh, he's from so he's from New York. He's in New York. I guess we should have known that the way he'd be moving.
Oh, this is 100% baseball then.
Rome. Okay, Rome.
Hold
New
on.
York,
That doesn't matter.
Baseball Mets. What do you say?
I don't know. I don't know what's drawing me to hockey for some reason, because I just feel like it's going to be some off the wall something.
But that was a defenseman.
I don't know. I'm gonna stick with the hockey, and I'm gonna go with, I'll stick with a New York team. We'll go with the Rangers. I don't know.
Okay.
I have no idea.
For the Rangers. Okay. Well, both of you gentlemen are wrong. He was.
Golf.
He was
you gonna hit us
drafted-
with golf? You got drafted in golf?
He was drafted as a tight end for the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, I would have never thought football.
Yeah.
Never would have guessed football.
Drafted
Wow.
as a tight end.
Okay. Oh, hey. By the Cowboys, you said?
By the Cowboys. Yeah.
Huh. It's
So
interesting.
he's drafted Did he play football in Kentucky?
I don't know.
Well, come
Hey,
on.
how you need
supposed
to
to
have
know
you need to
about
be able
Pat
to
Riley.
answer follow-up questions.
I didn't. I'm just telling you what happened.
I mean, I'm assuming that he did because he was drafted, but he went.
But
the
you know,
NBA
back in the
route.
day, they used to draft all sorts of people
So he
because
went
they
to
had like
Charlie
14 rounds. But
Charlie Ward route. Well, I guess we call it the Pat Riley route.
Wait, and
For
how do you know this?
football.
I was listening to what was I listening to? Some podcast, and they said it.
The I Love Pat
Interesting.
Riley podcast.
It was a Miami Heat oriented podcast. You know, I like to know, the inner workings of the team.
Well,
Yeah, in the first round, let's see, as well as he was drafted by the Dallas Cowboys that same year. So he got drafted in the NBA and the NFL in the same year.
Man,
That's
cold like that,
interesting.
man.
what were his
Pat a
college
legend.
stats and at Kentucky in football?
You know, it could have been like an Antonio Gates type situation. You know.
Yeah, but Antonio Gates wasn't drafted, was he? Or
Yeah,
did he play?
I'm pretty
So
sure.
did he play towards the end of his career? He wasn't drafted as
Um,
a non-football player.
Let's see.
I don't know.
Yeah, it says Gates played basketball rather than football in college.
Yeah, but was he drafted?
Oh,
That was my question. Because I mean, that's what I thought. I thought he only played ball. He only played basketball, but I don't think he was.
nah,
drafted. I
yeah,
think
he got signed as an
signed.
undrafted free agent.
Yeah. You're not gonna draft a guy who didn't play collegiate football.
But I mean, that's like Jimmy Graham.
Did he get drafted?
Yeah, but Jimmy
Jimmy
Graham
Graham?
played. Yeah, but didn't he play his senior year at Miami?
I think he only played the 1 year of football because he was a
Right.
basketball player.
Yeah, I think in order for you to be, I mean, I don't know if that's true, but I think that might be part of the rules. You have to have played some kind of collegiate football.
Well, oh, you said you can be as an undrafted person. You can get on a
Yeah,
team
you
without
could
having
sign.
played.
I mean, they just.
Yeah,
Signed,
yeah,
I mean, Kansas City just signed a rugby player. Like you can sign whoever you want at any time.
That's
But I
true.
think in order for you to, I think there has to be some kind of credentials for you to enter the draft. Am I
Mhm.
incorrect, or am I just shooting
don't
from the hip
know.
on that one?
We'll figure that out for next week though, because we'll leave it there.
right,
You know,
nice.
another great show, another great episode. EJ's terrible again with his takes, but we were
Hey,
glad
my
that
heat
he
ain't
was
dope.
able to make it after his wrestling practice. So it was good. It was good. Once again, terrible takes on Kyrie, who is not a superstar. But all in all, thank you
Crazy.
for listening to Kicks,
Crazy.
Cleats, and Athletes. Make sure you listen to us on your streaming platforms. Follow us. Watch us live on YouTube. Kicks, Cleats, and Athletes. We out.
Yeah.
Oh, we ain't got no music tonight, so you could do all of that. It is.
Now you should have had the Heat theme song queued up.